Obviously, as you can tell, I'm super happy and excited to be here. I actually got here last night. I arrived to my hotel around, I think it was around 10. Journey was ridiculously long from Manchester to KL. I think in total I've been traveling for like 24 hours, which is the longest that I've traveled anywhere. So this is definitely going to take some getting used to. The furthest I've ever been is like Pakistan, and that was like such a long time ago. It's obviously a lot more further away. I would say the journey wasn't the best, to be honest. Alhamdulillah, everything was smooth sailing. I caught my flights on time. There weren't any delays. All of my luggage as well, which is good because I had one suitcase that I checked in from Manchester all the way to KL. So I'm happy that it came back in one piece and it wasn't damaged or anything like that. However, my experience with Etihad Airline was an interesting one. I have to say that, because I spent a certain amount of money thinking that if I booked with Etihad I was going to have like a really comfortable flight and the food was going to be decent and everything else. But I would have rated the food like 2 out of 10, if that. The food is quite bad. And then on top of that, like the space in between seats is so small that if someone basically leans back, their seat is like right in your face, which makes it hard to eat and everything else. I know that it's like that on most airlines, right, especially with the economy, but with Emirates it wasn't like that. I didn't have that kind of experience, and I've flown with Emirates quite a few times, so I'm just grateful that actually on the way back my flight is with Emirates and not with Etihad. I know someone's going to say to me that, well, you flew economy so you kind of get what you pay for, but I paid almost 400 quid for a one-way flight to Malaysia. I don't know if that's like cheap or expensive, but to me I was thinking, okay, well that's not on the cheap side of stuff. So you're expecting a certain level of service. I mean, at least get the food, right? I understand there's not much that they can do about legroom, and you know, you can probably pay more for that, whatever. But there's obviously a lot that they can do when it comes to food. And the food didn't look like natural food, and it didn't taste like natural food. Like, I know airline food isn't supposed to be the best, but they could definitely have done better than what they gave us. On the second half of the journey from Abu Dhabi airport to KL, when I got onto that flight, there was a couple that was sat next to me. The guy's wife complained about the food because she was like, what the hell is this? I'm not one to complain, really. The only time I'm going to complain against the airline or against the business is if they've like damaged something, or you know, if it's something really serious like hair in the food or spider in the food or something like that, then of course I would have complained. But how are you going to complain about the taste of the food when they've given that same food to everybody? Any other food that you want to swap it for is going to taste just as bad. So I was just kind of like, there's no point in even complaining, because what can they actually do about it? I just ate as much of it as I possibly could. I did really struggle. Thankfully, before I got to the airport I had something to eat, so I wasn't like starving. I think that's my biggest complaint against Etihad, to be honest, because I feel like everything else is probably something that they don't have much control of. There's not much that they can do about that, but the food is one thing that they can improve, and they really need to improve, because the amount of people that had left their foods, like I was looking around at other people, there was like full containers with the chicken and rice that they give you. So I had chicken and rice the first time with like a passion fruit cheesecake and couscous with like vegetables in it, a stodgy piece of bread and some butter. I didn't expect that kind of quality of food from Etihad. I expected better, because you have those kind of standards when you fly with Emirates and you're paying around the same amount of money, if not more actually, because my flight from KL back to Manchester with Emirates is actually cheaper than what I paid for Etihad. So I would be expecting better, if anything. I paid for good food and I didn't get that, so obviously I'm disappointed in the airline. Won't be using them again. Getting a taxi from KL airport to the hotel took its time. I used the Grab app. Everybody kept telling me to download that. I swear, I think the taxi took almost an hour to get into the airport because it was that busy. He was only like 5 minutes away in terms of distance, really. But with the amount of traffic that there was, the amount of cars that there were coming into the airport at that time, it took him like almost an hour just to get into the airport, which was crazy. The journey from KL airport to the hotel was about an hour. City centre is far away from KL International Airport. I didn't actually know that. Anyway, we're here. I am staying at the Life Hotel in Chinatown. I'm going to be doing a full room tour. I am here only for 4 nights. I saw reviews for this online. I saw like lots of videos on TikTok about it as like an affordable hotel to stay in. I think it's like 15-20 minute walk towards like all the kind of main areas from here. I'm going to try and walk a bit today and see where everything is, if there's any good food spots close by as well. Not really had a chance to test much apart from the shower. The water was hot, which is really good. In these kind of countries, sometimes the water is not the hottest. A nice shower yesterday, I felt really good. One thing I kind of would complain about is that they don't give you water bottles, which is a bit strange for a country like Malaysia where you can't drink like the tap water. But they do have a sink on each floor where you can actually get filtered water from. So I did that last night. I filled up a jug that they keep in the room. I did catch up on my prayers from yesterday, but I still need to catch up on my prayers from the day before. I've been traveling for 2 days. It is Friday as well, it's Jummah. So it's now the 3rd of May. It's officially my second day here in Kuala Lumpur. Today, because I woke up late, I decided instead of like going out, what I would do is explore nearby the hotel, have some food, relax a little bit today because I do have some work to do in the evening. So I thought that I would go out during the day, however many hours I have where it's actually light outside. And then in the evening, once it gets dark, I would just like spend my time in the hotel catching up on work. I have just got back to the hotel. It's just gone like 7:30 now in the evening. So my plan is to pray. I need to pray Asr and Maghrib. I'm gonna have a look around the hotel, see what it's like, everything else, and see where I can actually work from, because I know that there are like co-working spaces here in this hotel. I've literally not checked anything out in this hotel right now. I've not checked out the gym. I've not checked out the restaurant. I've not checked out anything apart from my own room. So far so good. Obviously there are certain things about the hotel which I didn't know, like for example they don't provide daily cleaning, which I found a bit strange. Like if that was the case I probably would have booked an Airbnb instead because it would have been cheaper. The reason why I booked a hotel was because I thought, okay, well we have someone who can clean it every day, so I don't have to worry about that. Me having long hair with it falling out, it literally gets everywhere, so I do need it to be clean like every couple of days at the least. Monday I think is when I check out because it's actually 4 nights that I'm here for, and the next hotel is actually 5 nights, so altogether 9 nights in Malaysia. And on the 10th obviously I'll be flying to the next destination, which I did say I was going to be keeping as a surprise. One thing about this room that I really don't like is they don't give you an iron, so you have to actually go to the laundrette to iron your clothes. That's a bit silly because does that mean that I'm going to be stood there ironing my clothes in front of everyone? What if I take a really long time? Other people are like waiting around to use the iron. And the second thing is there's no actual like mini fridge in here. I think nearly every single hotel that I've been in has a mini fridge apart from this one. This hotel is affordable, but it's not on the cheap side. It is still expensive in the grand scheme of things for Malaysia. I think the fact that it's classed as a 4-star hotel as well makes it more expensive. But anyway, I think tonight I'm gonna order in. I want to get a grab takeaway. That's if I can even muster up the appetite to eat, because right now I don't really feel that hungry. I've just eaten. God, I feel really tired. Can you tell that I have literally just woken up? Where has the day gone? I think the jet lag has finally started to sink in. A couple of hours ago, I was sat on the bed, about to tell you how my day's been, what I've been up to. And the next minute, you know, like I feel my brain just switching off. I feel my eyes closed, head feeling really heavy, my eyes feeling heavy. And then I just put my head into the pillow and I fell asleep. I think I fell asleep about an hour. I don't know if I feel any better, to be honest. My head does still feel a bit heavy, but at least I had a nap because I've been struggling to sleep. I think the jet lag has finally kicked in. That must be what it is. Anyway, here's me attempting to catch you up on everything that I was supposed to do today, which obviously looks like it's not going to plan. Last night, I really struggled to sleep. I didn't sleep until 7 in the morning, so I spent the night pretty much just ringing home. There's like a 7-hour difference between Malaysia and the UK, so when I was ringing home, they were obviously still awake. They were still going about their day. So I rang my mom, I rang my middle sister, and then I rang my eldest sister, and we were on the phone for quite a while. By the time I got off the phone, it was actually Fajr time. So I ended up praying Fajr, and then I went to sleep after that. As you can imagine, by the time I woke up, it was midday. So that's 5 hours of sleep that I had. I think if I was in the UK and it wasn't jet lag, that would have been fine. But over here, because the weather is making me feel quite sleepy, so obviously I'm still tired. By the time I kind of got out of the hotel, it was like 5, I think. I decided to walk around in the local area where I am in, which is close to Bukit Bintang. I knew because it's a Saturday, it's going to be busy. I decided to kind of stick to where I was. It's been an eventful day, I think. I went out to a place called... Let me see if I can find it on my phone. So I'm like skipping past all of my snaps so that I can find. Okay, so I had something called nasi lemak. It's a Malaysian dish from what I've been told. And it's actually what people have for breakfast. The taxi driver who dropped me off to my hotel yesterday was talking about this. Apparently you can have it for any time of the day, but I didn't have it for breakfast. I mean, it was my first meal of the day, but it wasn't breakfast, clearly, if I was eating it at 5 p.m. But yeah, it was nice, to be fair. It was like chicken with rice and dried up anchovies, a kind of curry sauce, hard-boiled egg, some pine nuts, I think that's what they are. The place where I went to eat is called Fika Coffee Roasters. It's supposed to be a popular place in KL, and it's literally a 20-minute walk from where I am. So I was like, you know what, it's a nice weather today, it's not been raining, and that place that I went to was actually quite nice. I would definitely recommend it. I even brought back almond croissant. Should we do a taste test together? Bismillah. It's supposed to have like cream in it. I can't really taste much right now. Okay. That's actually really nice. My face, as you can see, is super sweaty. I've not actually worn any foundation today because yesterday I wore foundation and my face was all melting off. So I decided not to wear any today. I literally just have on like a bit of concealer, some powder, liquid blush, which is the one from e.l.f. I kept it very minimal today because I just didn't want to be piling on the makeup. Even if you go out in the evening, your face will melt off because it's still very, very humid at this time. But anyway, this is my second day now. Yesterday I went to the Petronas Towers, so I got to see that. What's really good is that they have people there to take picture of you. They take your photo on like a phone. Multiple of those clip-on lights they'll have attached to one phone, and then what they do is they basically take pictures of you in front of the Petronas Towers. The second thing I also did was I went to the Pavilion Mall for some food. The Pavilion Mall is basically one of the biggest malls in Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken. There's around like 7-8 floors to this mall, so it's very big. And it literally takes ages to like just walk around. I was there for a good few hours, as you can imagine, just walking around. Obviously I didn't go to every single shop, I didn't get to see all of it because it was just massive. I wanted to try and get some designer sunglasses, but I couldn't find any, to be fair. There were ones that I did see which were Armani ones. I don't know if I'm gonna buy those ones. I think if I don't find any other ones I might go back and get those because I did really like them. They were around 150 quid, which isn't too bad, to be fair, for sunglasses. I don't really buy designer stuff, but I feel like for sunglasses, if you buy cheaper brands, they just break easily. You don't really treat them that well because they're cheap. I thought that like maybe I could buy some ones from here as a kind of treat, not like this whole holiday hasn't been an expensive treat, but hey ho. When I say tree, I mean like an actual tree, right? Like something that I can take home with me as a gift and be like, this reminds me of my time here. I always get myself like a souvenir or something wherever I go. I haven't bought myself a souvenir yet, obviously. I am going to. Just a small thing just to remind me of where I have been. Because now at this point, I've actually travelled quite a bit. I've been to so many different places, even solo, as well as with family or friends. So far, because obviously this is my second day, I've not really done as much, I guess. Going to the Petronas Tower is obviously a big thing because it's a massive landmark here. I think it's called the KL Tower. That's like right next to it, to be fair. You can see it on the way to the Petronas Tower. There was more people next to the Petronas Tower, so I went there, to be fair, and it was quite busy. There was so many people there. Traffic was heaving. Considering I went at like midnight as well, I wouldn't have thought it was going to be that busy, but it was. I can't imagine how busy it is during the day, but at the same time, people go at night because the towers light up, so you get better view at night. Even seeing it up close was like, wow. The design, the build, the architecture, the skill, the mastery that's gone into building this is unreal. Even when you look at like the Burj Khalifa up close, you're like, wow. It just blows your mind how phenomenal their skills are, making something that's actually going to stand out, not just in that country, but across the world. When you think of Kuala Lumpur in general, that's the first kind of major landmark that you think of. I was kind of close by because I was near the Pavilion Mall, and it's like a 20-minute walk or so from there. So I literally just walked it because trying to get a taxi when you're near the Pavilion Mall is impossible. There's no space to even walk, let alone get a car. The one thing I have noticed about Malaysia, especially central KL, there's a lot of designer shops. People clearly like to spend money here on nice things. It's definitely not a place of shopping for me because I ain't spending that kind of money here. Yeah, I didn't do any shopping really. So that was pretty much my day yesterday. There's no point of me even starting to do any work right now because I do want to try and sleep early as well tonight. I don't want to do the same thing that I did last night. I'm going to try and sleep at least around 12:01 at the latest so that I can be up early tomorrow and actually get going with a lot of things. And I do definitely want to do more sightseeing, but I do also need to prioritize this work that I have that's outstanding that I need to complete. So that needs to be done over the next 2 days, and then I can kind of relax and do everything I wanted to do in KL. I will catch up with you shortly once the food's here, I guess. It's 2 a.m. I'm still not asleep. I haven't even prayed. I need to do that. First of all, I'm going to get dressed. I'm going to remove my makeup, and then I'm going to pray and then go to sleep. I'm just going to get changed now, so we'll be back real soon. Can't believe that I was talking the whole time and I wasn't even bloody recording. Anyway, I am going to remove my makeup, so I'm just going to remove it with this Bioma cleanser. This is the Milky Moisture Cleanser. This is a really good one. I can double cleanse with this, but I do usually use my Aveeno one. So this is the Aveeno Calm and Restore Nourishing Oat Cleanser. I'm not sure how long we have until this battery ends up dying. I'm going to try and show you as much as I possibly can. Basically, I wanted to have a conversation because I have mentioned this anyway. I was working with this e-commerce business. They're basically a tanning brand. They've been going, I think it's been less than 12 months or just over 12 months anyway. It's not remove my mascara. Month on month, consistently we had got them sales. We had helped scale their brand in terms of the number of customers they had. Every single month they were gaining new customers. The problem is, because it's low ticket product, essentially what we were trying to sell through Meta, it became very difficult for us to get them into a profit. I mean, it takes time to get into a profit. It doesn't happen straight away. It could take anywhere from like 3 to 6 months. The add to baskets were really high and the conversions were low, which meant that there was problems with their website in terms of conversion funnels were just not optimized. Even though like this is something that we wouldn't necessarily work on, I did spend a lot of time and energy helping them to improve it. At the end of every month we have like a review meeting to talk about how the ads are performed, what we would do to kind of carry that forward, strategy and everything else. These meetings usually carry on for about an hour. That's at least what I schedule into my calendar. Obviously I have so much other stuff to do. I can't just be spending my whole day on one account account. Now, the person who owns this business, we had a conversation literally the same day that I flew out, which was on the 30th of April. They do this regularly, like every single time I'll be giving them my time, like for free. I was giving them so much value. I would be a part of meetings that I wasn't even supposed to be a part of. I supported their brand in ways that no other agency ever would. In month 3, we had gotten more sales than we had in month 2, but the loss was higher because we were testing towards the end of the month, because they were basically trying to get a new website up and running, but it wasn't up and running in time, so we had no choice but to spend the rest of the budget towards testing. Because currently we'd only found 2 ads that were actually converting. We tested multiple different ads over the span of 3 months, and none of the other ones were converting to the same extent. Like you might get 1 or 2 sales a month from the other ones, so it's just not worth running because it becomes more expensive to run them. So when we had this meeting then on the 30th, it was genuinely one of the worst meetings I've ever had, and I've been in some very uncomfortable situations, but I got upset on the meeting. That's how bad it was, because I know I've literally given my blood, sweat and tears to this account more than anybody else would have. I took a massive pay cut to take them on as well, because I was splitting the fees 50-50 with the other guy who had referred them. I'd sacrificed so much of my time and energy into the account to try and grow it and try and get them to a good position, which we did. I felt like I was being taken advantage of as a marketing consultant, however they viewed me as. They knew that, okay, she has all these extra skills and we want to use that as much as possible. That's all well and good if you want to use my skills, but at the same time you have to know that I'm going to charge you for it. My business is my time. The value that I provide is within the time that I'm providing you. To be fair, going into that meeting, I kind of was already in this space where I felt like I don't think it's best that we continue to take their account forward. I would rather just end the relationship. Basically, the guy who had referred them to me, he put us all in a very difficult position because he had set really unrealistic expectations. So even though in month 3 we had got rid of him from the account and it was just me working with them directly without him, they still had those expectations in their minds. They felt like they had made a massive financial loss. I had also made a financial loss. Mine was even bigger because mine was time and financial loss. But obviously I understand where they were coming from in terms of business. And I also explained to them, I work with small businesses, I always have done. That's my specialism, is growing small businesses. So I understand the fact that you've lost money, but at the same time you've gained so many customers that you can then retarget. And that's what you should be focusing on, is retargeting. They took some of my advice on board over the last 3 months, but not all of it. It was definitely an experience and I've learned so much from it, but unfortunately I'm no longer working with them. We both mutually decided to part ways because I said to them, in order to take their account forward for the next month, we'd have to up the fees because it requires so much more time and support, and right now I physically cannot do any more, and I have to obviously pay to bring people onto the account. I have to charge more to make it sustainable for us as a business to continue with the service. But then she was like, no, we can't afford that. And then she also said that she wanted to give me some feedback. You come across as really passive aggressive. I was like, passive aggressive? Genuinely till this day cannot believe what she said, because I've never been called passive aggressive. I'm quite firm and I stand my ground. Yeah, you have to be as a business owner. You can't allow people to walk all over you. And she was expecting way too much from me. She would repeat the same thing over and over again, and I would push back and be like, I'm sorry, I'm already doing as much as I can. I can't do any more. But she wanted to have meetings every week, and I was just like, at this moment in time, there's nothing for me to feed back to you every single week. And also, these meetings were taking up so much time. It wasn't just like half an hour of us updating them on what was going on with the ads. I was updating them on pretty much a daily basis on WhatsApp, and that still wasn't enough for them. So it just got to a point where I was like, well, you're already expecting so much from me, but you're not paying me enough for me to even deliver that. If you're not willing to increase the retainer, there's nothing more to be done here. We're just going to have to end this relationship because I'm not going to succumb to your demands. And I really didn't appreciate the fact that she was calling me passive aggressive. That in itself came across so unprofessional. And I basically just turned around and I said to her, I'm sorry if you think that I'm passive aggressive. That's not the way that I'm trying to come across. I'm the kind of person that basically reflects other people's behaviors. If you're going to be aggressive towards me, I'll mirror your exact behavior. So if you think I'm being aggressive back, I have a good heart and I'm a good person and I speak quite gently, but I definitely firmly hold my ground. I don't ever be a yes person. I will never be a yes person. If you want to work with me, that's something you have to understand. She obviously didn't like it. She wanted me to give more for less, and I was like, no, I'm not doing that. I've already done that for you for the last 3 months. To be fair, I think the reason I got upset was because I felt very underappreciated. Even though I put so much time and energy into the account, they didn't appreciate it. Work with other agencies and then see how how they work compared to the way we work and the kind of results that we've got for you, because you're not going to get those kind of results elsewhere. You're not going to get the kind of support that you've got from me elsewhere. I had to really control myself because I thought at the end of the day, she can't ever turn around and say anything negative about me because of how much support they've got from me. She wanted to know the inner workings and everything about why we were running the ads the way we were running. And I knew that like potentially at some point they were probably going to take over the ads themselves, or they didn't want to pay an agency to run the ads. And that's fine, but don't try and use me. Even by me explaining it to them, she had no understanding about ads. It just got to a point where I was like, I can't do this anymore. Working with her has become so stressful. It's just not worth it, not for the money. And so yeah, we kind of decided to part ways. She's still not paid me, so I don't need to invoice her for that month. I think even if they came back to me and were like, we want you to take over the account again, I just don't think I would, just from working with them before. I just think that that last meeting left a very bad taste in my mouth in terms of her calling me passive aggressive, which I just felt was so unnecessary. It even got to a point where I had to just say to her that, look, I don't need you to say that again. You've said it multiple times. I understand. I appreciate your feedback. I take it on board. But I also said to her that like I also have feedback for you, because working with you hasn't exactly been easy. To be fair, she came across as a bit of a bully, but I never said those words. I didn't want us to part ways on bad terms, but she herself came across as quite aggressive. You know, when things weren't going her way, it's kind of like when a child throws a tantrum and things don't go their way. That's kind of how she came across. I've learned a lot of lessons working with them. I don't want to speak about it any further, to be fair, but yeah, that client has now gone. My battery died whilst I was in the bathroom. Now that I have that experience under my belt, I just feel like from here I'm only going to keep progressing and getting better. So the fact that I am a consultant, I've worked in different areas of marketing, I understand it very well. I think that's the reason why I was able to strategize the ad side of things quite well and actually get them sales. Now I just want to focus on trying to like get more clients. It is really late now though, and I do need to get to sleep. I don't even know what time it is. I think it's around 4, but I thought I'd maybe stay up to pray Fajr. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. I'm going to try anyway. Gosh, I'm actually sweating so badly right now. It's so warm. But today is literally the day that I check out of this hotel. So I'm just going to quickly show you the room. Honestly, the only reason why I didn't show you this at the beginning is because there's really not much to see. I was not happy with this hotel and I'm glad to be checking out today. So this is the bathroom. Sink here. Mirror there, toilet, towel, toilet paper, a bidet, thing, shower. As you can see, I've literally only just used that like an hour ago, so it's still wet. When you come through the door, this is the entranceway. This is an actual like sliding door. You can slide this close. There's my suitcase, I'm all packed. I just need to close that. There's like actual flooring on here. There's no carpet. My hairs are literally everywhere. The lighting is disgusting right now, but there is me. There's a huge ass mirror. Up here we've also got the aircon. On this side we have the bed. I think that space underneath is basically for you to put your suitcases. This TV does not have Netflix, just to let you know. We've got a double bed here. We do have a window in this room. Then we've got this, but it's not painted on. If I touch this and I scratch it, you can tell like it's fabric. Got the desk over here, my bag. The reason why there's a towel on the floor is because I was using that to pray. I left my prayer mat at home. I just remember taking it out of my suitcase because my suitcase was full, and I thought that I would like put it in maybe this bag, but of course I didn't. I left it. But anyway, we do have a laundry basket here. I've not seen that in a hotel before. Hotel safe. In there we've got a hairdryer which I've put there because I've just used that this morning. Why would you need a torch in a hotel room? But anyway, this is basically like an open wardrobe. There's the desk. They do give you a jug to fill up with water. I only filled this up once. Got cup, kettle, kind of your bog standard stuff. You would probably think that they would have a mini fridge over there somewhere, but no. Literally, it just has all your basic stuff. It is now approaching 12:30. I do think I have late checkout in this hotel. That's probably why I've not been bothered by anybody yet, but there's no reason for me to be in this room any longer. I know I'm not properly dressed, but I'm planning to like sort myself out when I get to the next hotel in the next couple of hours. I'm really hungry right now, to be fair. there. So either I'll go down in reception or I'll go up into the restaurant to get something to eat. I think it is open today. The last couple of days I've been going and it's been closed. I was told by the receptionist that it will be open today. So fingers crossed it's open because I'm starving. I genuinely don't think I have the energy to walk around try and find something to eat. I need something now. So that's the plan. I'm done here. I'm going to close this suitcase, check out, and then get something to eat, and then head off to the next hotel. I'll probably get a grab taxi because I think it's a bit of a trek from here. If I didn't have my suitcases, I could probably walk, I think, because I don't think it's that far. But with my suitcases and everything, well, suitcase and then one bag, a heavy bag, I'm not even going to attempt to walk. So I'll see you in the next clip. It's the 10th of May, it is 9 a.m. My flight's at 11:05, so I really need to get moving because as usual, I'm running late. Before I head down to the lobby to check out, I thought I would do a quick room tour. Really don't have that much time to do anything else. I've literally just packed and I'm going to be heading out now. Since I've been here, which is the last, 5 days, I've not had a chance to really vlog much. This room is insane and I need to show you it before I check out. This is the entrance. You have a mini fridge there. I literally only put like water and stuff in there. Then you have like your kettle, cups, you've got water bottles that they give you in the hotel, which I did not drink because the water over here is really rank. So as you can see, all the bottles have been stacking up. There's even some in the fridge as well. As you can see, there's like 3 bottles in there which I've not drank. I actually bought some Evian water from here and I've been drinking that instead. The best thing about this hotel is the fact that they give you an iron. I think that's with the room that I've got, which I think this is the king size room. I'm not sure what this door is, but I think it leads on to another room. That's my rubbish in there. They do give you that hairdryer, so that's why I've left that there because it's not mine. I've got like this massive mirror. I've been literally getting ready here every single morning. And then they give you a tissue box. We have a magnifying mirror. You do get slippers. My suitcase there. Got a chair there. Bedside table. Another door, I assume is a door to the next room. You can hear those guys quite clearly. This is an actual king size bed. As you can see, I've made a right state of it. You can see the pillows are all over the place. You've got a nice kind of sturdy headboard as well. This bed was really comfy, but the only thing is I didn't really get much of a chance to sleep on it. I've literally just been sleeping on the bed rather than like getting into the covers and sleeping in it, so I've not had a chance to test the bed properly. And then you've got your TV here. This TV has Netflix, but for some reason it wouldn't connect to the internet, so I never got a chance to watch anything. I mean, I didn't really have time anyway. This is what I wanted to show you, was this incredible view of Kuala Lumpur. You can literally see everything from this window. The KL Tower there. You can see a lot of like popular hotels and stuff from here. Petronas Towers are there, so they're kind of hidden a little bit. People on the other side of the hotel would have a better view of that. You can even see as far as down to like the pavilion, which is like right there. Kuala Lumpur is so beautiful. Obviously I had a shower this morning, so that's why the bathroom is literally a tip, and there's like towels everywhere. You've got a massive shower head there. They do give you body wash and shampoo to use as well, but I didn't use that. I've got my own with me. So got a toilet, again you've got the bidet next to it, bin, toilet rolls. You've got like a nice big lit up mirror over here. Hotel mirrors and lighting are just never clear enough to do your makeup or anything. Hand soap, and then they give you all these little amenities. So you've got like dental set, sanitary bag, shower cap, vanity kit. Yeah, that's it. That's not really much else to show you. Now I really need to get going downstairs because it's almost 9:15. So I'm gonna head downstairs now, check out. That should only take like 5 minutes. Get a grab taxi to the airport, and then we're on our way to Bali. So I guess I'll check in with you now once I'm in Bali. Super excited, genuinely, I can't wait to get there.